There is the whistle, and we are underway here between Miami and Rochester. So we laid out all of those clinching scenarios for you as an early ball comes into the box in front of Marsman, and the official, Arroyo, was letting them play the advantage, but a foul called behind the play against Miami. There are clinching scenarios tonight. This match also means a ton for these two teams. Right now, there is a huge tie up in the 2 through 7 spots in the Eastern Conference. Right now, Rochester is in a tie for third, 30 points, tied with New York City. Miami is 1 point behind, 29 points, sitting 1 point outside the playoffs at the moment. So if Miami can get the 3 tonight, they'll move into playoff position, or even 2 points would tie them with Rochester at 31 points apiece. Toronto in second at the moment, 32 points, is leading Cincinnati, and we'll keep you updated on the other scores around the league. But really what you have to know is whichever side gets the win tonight, whether it's in regulation or a tie and then an extra point in the shootout, it will go a long way towards the playoff chase as Marsman makes an early stop here for Miami. It's a first team heavy starting 11 for Darren Powell tonight. 4 of his 10 field players and his goalkeeper, all loans from the first team. Obviously no first team for Rochester, but it's pretty much the same starting group that head coach Bruno Baltazar has had for quite a while. These are also 2 teams sort of headed in opposite directions at the moment in terms of their current run of form. Miami has been excellent of late, unbeaten in its last 7 matches, a 4-0-3 record, and has picked up 16 points in that time span. Meanwhile, Rochester, after an outstanding stretch from May until the middle of July, is winless in its last 4 matches, 0-3-1, and has only picked up 1 point in that period of time. Bit of a quick turnaround here for Rochester. They played on Wednesday, also in Florida at Orlando, lost 5-2. They allowed 4 goals in the second half in that match, but Orlando went very first team heavy in that match, so perhaps a bit of an explanation as to the struggles for Rochester that day. In talking with Darren Powell, he didn't think that the Wednesday to Sunday quick turnaround for Rochester would have any impact on this match today, but Inter Miami is clearly the fresher team, having not played in a week. They last appeared last Sunday at Philadelphia, 2-2 tie, and then lost 5-4 in the shootout, so only picked up 1 point in that match. Rochester looking to move forward with it. This is Ian Garrett crossing one out in front, headed away from trouble on the back line. And it will be a Rochester throw here. It's been a solid 3+ minutes to start this match for the visitors. This is Jesus Batis dropping it back for Garrett once again. Garrett, who was playing in Finland a year ago, sends a cross all the way through the shadows into the small patch of sunlight on the pitch here at Drive Pink Stadium. Rochester is a team that has a really clear identity, extremely well coached. That's what Darren Powell says about them, the head coach for Inter Miami. Because it's always a tough matchup when you play this experienced Rochester group. Back on May 14th, it was a 4-1 win up in Rochester for RNYFC. A couple of players near the top of the league leaders in some statistical categories on the pitch today for Miami. Romeo Beckham is the league leader with 9 assists. And for Rochester, they feature Hebron Rayo, who has 11 goals, which is in the top 5 in all of MLS Next Pro. And Kaike, the goalkeeper, is tied for the league lead with 6 clean sheets so far this season. Right now, 2 other matches in progress. We told you Toronto a 1-0 lead over Cincinnati. They have just started the second half. And Philadelphia hosting New England. That started right about at the same time as us. Philadelphia at the moment 28 points, 2 points back of a playoff spot. And New England has 29 points, 1 point out of the playoff chase at the moment. And level with Miami with that 29-point total. This one comes all the way down, and Kaike will escort it over the end line. Kaike this season has started now all 20 of Rochester's matches. And he has a 1.32 goals against average, saves about 68% of shots against him, and has the same 7-7-5 overall record as the team. Miami has split goalkeepers this season, going with Marsman tonight. Overall, Miami 8-7-4 so far this season. It's played all the way back on Marsman. One of the veteran players who appears in MLS Next Pro, north of 30 years old now. Has been very solid when he's been between the pipe for head coach Darren Powell. He was really excited for his guys about the opportunity being right in the thick of a playoff chase here. Said that the way his team has put forth attitude and effort throughout the season has earned them the chance to play in a match like this, not only with it meaning so much for the standings and where they sit in the Eastern Conference table, but also against an opponent that you are directly looking to pass if you can earn 3 points tonight. This is Borgelin for Romeo Beckham. A good tackle. Brought it back to Schneider Borgelin. 11 goals for him this season. Also in the top 5 in MLS Next Pro. And a foul against Rochester, and it will be a free kick here for Miami. Just over 7 minutes gone by in our first half. Justin Galanti, glad to be with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Romeo Beckham, of course, son of David Beckham, to take this. 2 goals, 9 assists to lead the league this year. He's had a fantastic season for Inter Miami, too. Beckham's service into the box, loose out in front, a bit dangerous, but cleared off the back line by Lamar Batista for Rochester, and then a foul against Miami as Rio took a push in the back. And Rochester started a little too quickly there for the liking of Luis Arroyo, so he will whistle the play back, it appears. 3 other matches tonight that will start later on. Minnesota will host Salt Lake, San Jose St. Louis, that's a big one obviously, and then Colorado hosting North Texas to round out the evening. Every match seeming to have so much importance for the postseason. As there was a yellow issued there to George Acosta for Miami, coming in the 9th minute. A couple teams have already been eliminated from playoff contention in the Western Conference: Portland, Salt Lake, and Sporting KC2. FC Cincinnati could be eliminated tonight. Colorado could as well. Colorado with a loss in regulation or a tie would be eliminated. Cincinnati would be eliminated with a loss in regulation or tie, or a win in regulation and 2 of 5 different scenarios. Results from either the New York City match, this one, or the New England-Philadelphia match. So we'll try and keep you updated on all the out-of-town scores here throughout the evening. It was interesting, the way the Western and Eastern Conference tables have played out throughout the season. For the longest time, it sort of appeared that there was going to be a really tight chase to the finish in the Western Conference, and the Eastern Conference was going to come right down to the wire, and now it's a bit of the opposite. As we said, at the moment, the 2nd place team through the 7th place team in the East only separated by 4 total points, whereas at the moment, the 5th place team in the West is 7 points behind the 4th place team in the West. But still plenty of time for things to change. At the moment, Tacoma with a chance to clinch tonight. 46 points atop the Western Conference table. St. Louis with 42 points in second. Houston 40 points in third. And North Texas holding the final playoff spot with 38 points so far this season. And one thing that really stands out about those top four teams in the Western Conference is that they're all dominant at home. So whoever can host playoff matches is going to have, you would think, a fairly significant advantage. When you look at these two teams, Rochester is fairly similar at home and on the road. 4-3-3 at home, 3-4-2 on the road. Miami, though, 6-2-1 at home. Very difficult to beat here at Drive Pink Stadium, whereas they are 2-5-3 playing away from their home pitch. Right now it's Rochester that has handled much of the possession through the first 11 minutes. Almost 60% of the time that we've been playing, they've had the ball. Christian Wood laid it off for Pedro Dolabella. Now across for Batista. He's playing in the USL for a couple of clubs last year. Now a big part of this RNY FC squad, looking to find themselves into the postseason in their first year of existence. What an accomplishment that would be. Tried to feed one through there, but Beckham able to take it for Miami and advance it forward over the sideline. Last off a Rochester touch, so it will be a throw here for the home side. As we said, Rochester coming off a bit of a disappointing performance on Wednesday night at Orlando. Gave up 4 second-half goals, so we'll see if the defense is a bit tighter tonight for Bruno Baltazar's club. This Rochester side began the year with just 2 points in its first 4 matches, got red hot from May through the middle of July. They've hit a bit of a bump in the road here since. Conversely, it was a great start to the year for Miami. Lost in regulation in 5 straight matches and 6 of 7 from May until the beginning of June, but unbeaten since June 9th. This will be a yellow here on the foul against Miami. It will be another free kick coming for Rochester, likely at the beginning of the 14th minute. You can see Marsman, the goalkeeper for Miami, is in the sunlight where the ball will be coming from the shadows, so you wonder if that could have even the slightest impact on his vision here. Edward Williams and Ian Garrett standing over it. See if they elect to try and put this one on goal or not. You would think it would be a difficult angle for the left-footed Garrett. Williams perhaps could have a go. It is Williams having one towards the back post, parried away by Marsman. Well done by the veteran keeper, but it's not cleared as Rochester is able to maintain possession. Very solid service there from Ian Garrett. Crosses another one in, headed up towards the edge of the box. Miami possessing it defensively, a bit dangerous here. And Rochester is able to force Miami into conceding a corner. Very good pressure, and Rochester wins the first corner of the match. Romeo Beckham was the one who got that yellow a few moments ago for Miami. 2 yellows already in the early going of this match against the home side. But Miami is able to defend this corner well. And a player is down in the box off that last tie-up for Miami. And the training staff immediately coming out onto the field. Both teams coming over to the sideline, getting some hydration, as it is obviously warm in Florida tonight. No shots yet in this match on either side as we approach 16 minutes gone by. Just hope that nobody is unable to continue at this point. Obviously, this gives you the opportunity to bring up that off-field treatment rule that was put in place a couple weeks back and has had glowing reviews throughout the league since. If a player goes down on the pitch and is unable to get up in 15 seconds, the referee will call the training staff on the field. If the training staff comes on, then the player will have to come off the field for 3 minutes before returning. So that would be the case here. But that is obviously not the main concern at the moment. Health is. That situation only comes up, of course, if the player is able to continue. Justin Galanti with you. This action from Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Second meeting of the season between Miami and Rochester. A 4-1 win in Rochester for Rochester back in May. And I asked Darren Powell this week, you know, obviously you've already seen Rochester this year, but it was so long ago. Can you really take anything from that match? Because your team and their team have changed a lot since then. And he said, yeah, I mean, we can take kind of some of the tactics that they put forth against us and see if they're the same at the start of this match, but also acknowledge that it is two extremely different sides than we saw more than 3 months ago now. So ready to restart in just a moment. Our first half, as always, brought to you by Adidas. Elsewhere, Philly, New England in the 20th minute. No score yet. And Toronto holding that 1-0 lead over Cincinnati in the 61st minute. Perhaps Cincinnati could be eliminated tonight. And Toronto is hoping to earn a little breathing room. Currently in second in the Eastern Conference table, hoping to create a little distance between themselves and whoever ends up being the third place team at the end of action tonight. Could be a host of teams depending on all the results. Right now, Rochester is in a tie for third place with New York City FC 2. Abel Caputo has come on here for Miami. So an early sub used by Darren Powell after that injury a few moments ago. Miami has not had much possession through the first 20 minutes of this match. Trying to change that. Ka'ike has not had many touches, sends this one all the way down the pitch, but the first head to it is Ame Mabika, 26th overall pick in the 2020 MLS Super Draft by Miami. First team loan here, playing with Inter Miami too. Ian Garrett sends one into the middle of the box and cleared away once again by Mabika. Beckham was thinking about the counterattack, instead played it in deep where Ka'ike can handle it easily. 21 minutes gone by and no score in this all-important match between Miami and Rochester. Rochester has held the ball extremely well thus far. Has not had any tremendous chances, though, against Nick Marsman. This one sent all the way down. Beckham trying to run it down, but Ka'ike will handle it. Just a stride too far out in front of Romeo Beckham, who is obviously known for his ability to set up his teammates with an MLS Next Pro leading 9 assists this year. He can also certainly find the back of the net himself with 2 goals so far this season. Foul against Rochester there. And Miami will restart it. There's Mendez. Modesto Mendez. Experience with the Cuban senior national team. Another one of the very talented backs that Darren Powell puts on display. This one gets in behind Mendez, though. This is Rayo. 11 goals so far this season, but he turns back, and Rochester content to hold the ball at least for the moment. Plenty of room for Rayo. And now Garrett once again. Ian Garrett sends it all the way across. Headed away from trouble, at least for a moment. Again, Miami able to win the ball back. As much as Rochester has had seemingly all of the possession to this point, Miami has still been strong defensively, and as we said a few moments ago, really not conceded any opportunities. Batiste. Again for Mendez. There's Gerardo Lopez moving forward with it. Lopez took a bit of a bump, and it will be a free kick coming for Rochester. Good step forward there by Gerardo Lopez. And Ian Garrett will take this free kick. Flanked by Edward Williams. Certainly an opportunity from this range to put one on goal if you'd like. Williams through the wall. Big save by Marsman. Nick Marsman makes his first save of the night. Not a bad effort from Edward Williams, but we remain scoreless. shot on either side there. A fairly good look for Rochester. Trying to make something out of all the possession they've had to this point. Certainly looking much stronger tonight than they have over the last month. As we said, winless in their last 4 matches, 0-3-1, and just 1 point in that span. Christian Wood tried to play this all the way down the near line, but it's run down by Lamar Batiste and played over towards Marsman. Miami's had a couple of suspicious results this season. Back in April, lost 7-0 at New York City. In May, a 6-0 loss at Orlando. A 5-0 loss at Columbus in June. But they have been able to rebound from each and every one of those and put themselves in position to think about the postseason here. Cross for Beckham was broken up, but it will be a corner coming for Inter Miami 2 in the 27th minute. First of the match for the home side. Will be Romeo Beckham on the service here. Beckham curls it in. Headed out of the box. Not definitively cleared yet, but his shot gets blocked all the way out towards midfield. Very well defended there by Rochester on the first set piece of the night for Miami. Here comes Beckham once again. Tried to shoot one towards the target. Instead, he wins another corner here for Miami. Good work as always from Romeo Beckham. Nearly consecutive corners here. Beckham swings it in low, parried away by Kaique. And Rochester able to clear out of trouble. Not too far though, is Miami able to win the ball back. Beckham out in front. And again sent away by Gerardo Lopez. It'll be a Miami throw. Things evening out in the possession game at the moment. Just 53% the possession advantage for Rochester, where it was well up over 60 in the opening minutes of this match. Foul there against Miami. But the referee, Luis Arroyo, wants to send this one back before Rochester restarts. Trying to break out over the top was Garrett. Couldn't quite control his touch there. But still will be a Rochester throw. Wood surveying the scene. He and Gerardo Lopez were teammates at Loyola Marymount. Now starting backs for this RNY FC side. Rochester has won a corner here. Each side now with 2 corners in the first half. This time they play it short, but immediately win another. This one crossed in towards the center of the box, but Miami able to clear it out once again. And it looks like we'll have a hydro break with just over a half hour gone by. If you're just joining us, no score between Miami and Rochester. We are in the 32nd minute. Shots at the moment are just 1-1. And Rochester had the lone shot on goal to this point. And one substitution has been used. Abel Caputo came in for Miami due to an injury to Ame Mabika. Justin Galanti with you here on MLSNextPro.com. So glad you're joining us on this Sunday night. 6 matches going on around MLS Next Pro this evening. 3 are live at the moment, obviously ours. Toronto a 1-0 lead against Cincinnati in the 74th minute. And Philadelphia and New England are in the 33rd minute. No score there. Later on tonight, Minnesota hosts Salt Lake. San Jose will welcome in St. Louis. And North Texas will be in Colorado. Playoff scenarios abound. 3 teams could clinch tonight. Columbus Crew 2 clinches a playoff berth and a division title if Miami loses or ties tonight. Loss in regulation. Doesn't matter what would happen in the shootout if Miami tied. If it's a loss in regulation or any kind of tie, Columbus clinches a playoff berth and a division title. In the West, Tacoma clinches a playoff berth and a division title with a San Jose loss in regulation or tie. Doesn't matter what would happen in the shootout. And St. Louis City 2 can clinch a playoff berth tonight with a win in regulation and a Minnesota loss in regulation or tie. So those are the stakes around the league tonight. In our match, these two are separated by 1 point. But that 1 point is so big. At the moment, Rochester would be in the playoffs, and Miami would not. See if that is still the case at the end of play tonight. Logan Batiste looking to step forward. Miami was hoping to go on the attack, but Rochester holding strong defensively again. Move in the midfield there by Pedro Dolabella. And a hard tackle, but it sends it right to Romeo Beckham. Beckham went down to a knee for a moment, able to stay on the ball though. Just past the 34-minute mark, Rochester almost able to force a turnover. They do win the ball. Good work by Jesus Batis, but Miami's able to take it right back. Crowd here at Drive Pink Stadium looking for something to make some noise about. But Rochester has held Miami from having many opportunities to this point. Lawson Sunderland, his brother plays for FC Cincinnati, had it for a moment there. Sort of a battle back and forth for the ball at midfield, and it's settled back to Gerardo Lopez, who sends it for Wood. Under 10 minutes until we reach the 45 here in the first half. But probably would expect significant stoppage time at the end of the first half here due to an injury break and a hydro break. Flag is up. And a foul there against Rochester. And it will be Beckham to restart it here. This ball run down by Nick Marsman. As neither team has really been able to connect on those long passes, looking for the quick counterattacks. Marsman's made one save. Kaique has not been asked to make one to this point. Comes Rochester again in the form of Jesus Batis, who was playing for New Amsterdam FC last year. He has 3 goals and an assist in year 1 for Rochester. So far this season, Rayo with 11 goals, 3 assists to lead the team. Behind him, Dolabella with 4 goals and 4 assists. Then you have the Batis 3. Great play by Beckham there to force Rayo off the ball. Will be a goal kick coming for Marsman. Big news out of Toronto. FC Cincinnati 2 has just leveled the match at 1 in the 80th minute. Toronto looking to earn some points and move up the Eastern Conference table, already in second, looking to create some separation. Cincinnati hoping to avoid elimination from the playoff chase tonight. Garrett steps forward for this one. Garrett's had the ball on his boot quite a bit tonight. Plays it out wide here for Batis. Showing off his footwork. But Batis was surrounded by 3 defenders, couldn't get through. Beckham trying to spin around a couple, but his pirouette wasn't effective. And a hard tackle and a foul there against David Ruiz. And Garrett standing over this free kick once again. 39 minutes gone by in our first half. As always, our action brought to you by our friends at Adidas. Williams searching out the back post, but Marsman able to handle it. Possession is nearly even, but Miami turns it over here. Perhaps an opportunity for Rochester. Moving into the box, left-footed strike is blocked, but it's well off a Miami touch, and it will be a corner for Rochester. Good job by the visitors making something happen after forcing the turnover. Garrett, left-footed service, headed away, not cleared definitively. Comes just wide of target as Marsman had to reverse direction. It was well wide of target. The reason that Toronto result could potentially be so important for these two sides is that if Toronto only, let's say, earns 1 point tonight, if it goes to a shootout, then with a full 3, Rochester could tie them with 33 points. So we'll be sure to let you know how that one wraps up between Toronto and Cincinnati. Both teams were asking for the whistle there from Luis Arroyo. See what Luis Arroyo decides on here. It'll be a free kick coming for Rochester with almost 42 minutes gone by. Christian Wood crosses one in, back post opportunity perhaps. Trying to get a strike away. It's loose in front, batted off Marsman. Rochester still holding on to possession, backing it out just a bit. Can they get a strike away? Comes into the corner for Boubacar Diallo. Diallo to his right foot. Top of the box, crosses on. Oh, what an opportunity just over the bar. Beautiful build up there for Rochester. And almost able to find a goal here late in the first half. Shots are now 3-1 in favor of the visitors. And Rochester has one shot on goal to this point. Oh, looks like Toronto responded very quickly. TFC2 scores. And in the 86th minute, a 2-1 lead over Cincinnati. So perhaps those hopes that Rochester and Miami fans had for a brief moment, those can go by the wayside if Rochester, or I should say Toronto, can hold on for a couple more minutes. Here it looks like Miami is trying to just hold on into halftime as Rochester is really applying the pressure at the moment, earning another corner here. Service coming for me and Garrett. And goes all the way through. It appeared to be without a touch. And this will be a throw. Might have been off of Miami head slightly, so it will be a throw for Rochester. Approaching that 45-minute mark, and then we'll see how much extra time we have at it. Great pass towards the near post. Flicked out in front. Dangerous chance perhaps here for Rochester, but Miami handles it well again defensively, and Rochester will hold the ball back with Lopez. Now it's Garrett to his left foot. Edward Williams crossing into the middle of the pitch. Leaves for Diallo. Has one, and Diallo missed well over the bar. And Jallo with his hands on his knees was hoping perhaps for a better effort. So it will be a goal kick here for Marsman. And this is a bit of a strong touch, and Williams couldn't keep it over the sideline, so it'll be a Miami throw. Flick back to the near side, and Batiste sends it high. No score in what's been an entertaining and tight first half between two teams right next to each other in the Eastern Conference table. Entering play tonight, Rochester just 1 point ahead of Inter Miami 2. It's sent forward. Beckham trying to run it down, a bit far for him. Over 2 minutes past the 45. As we said, expecting significant added time. This out in front, headed just wide of the target. What an opportunity for Hebron Rayo. Found himself free just in front of Marsman. And his redirection just outside the far post. As we said, it felt like Miami just trying to survive into halftime because it is Rochester with all the momentum at the moment. Simply awaiting the whistle of Luis Arroyo. But Rochester keeps pressing forward. Boubacar Jallo. Another chance perhaps here. Jallo again. His pass, though, got broken up. Good play by George Acosta for Miami. A good run to get this at least back towards midfield. A good run forward. Another chance perhaps. This will be a corner for Rochester. Sixth corner of the first half coming for the visitors. We'll see if this perhaps could be the final action of the first half. Garrett's service is low to the near post. Headed back out of the box. Miami continues to hold up strong defensively. Beckham trying to run this one down. Sent away from him, though. The Miami touch here. Rochester throw. Almost 5 minutes past the 45 now. Jesus Batiste. Back for Wood. Now Lamar Batista. This pass a bit long, so it'll be a Miami throw deep. And there is the whistle, and the second half is underway. So some of the numbers from the first half, shots were 6-1 in favor of Rochester, and RNYFC had the lone shot on target. Rochester held 54.4% of possession, had 6 corners. Miami only had 2. There was a stretch in the middle of the first half where Miami was pretty effective offensively, but for the most part, you would have to say that Rochester controlled things and perhaps deemed Miami fortunate to get to halftime without conceding a goal. So we still look for the breakthrough here in the second half. An update from Toronto. TFC2 has held on to earn a full 3 points, a 2-1 win against Cincinnati. So Toronto extends its lead over New York City and Rochester for second place in the Eastern Conference table, now at 35 points, 5 points ahead of New York City and Rochester. So neither of those teams this week, or obviously Rochester cannot catch Toronto tonight, but still earning any kind of points tonight would mean for Rochester that Miami would not pass them. Even if Rochester only earns 1 point tonight, they would be level with Miami. Is this a hard tackle? And an immediate yellow is shown to David Ruiz for Miami. That is the third yellow shown to a Miami player in this match. None yet for any Rochester players. Another free kick coming here for Rochester in the 48th minute. An update on the one other match that is live at the moment. Philadelphia and New England scoreless in the 50th minute. That match obviously with big playoff implications in the Eastern Conference as well. It is Williams and Garrett standing over it here for Rochester. Williams plays it to Garrett, looking for the back post, but a bit out of reach for anyone. So it'll be a goal kick for Nick Marsman, who made 1 save in the first half, the only one he had to. Kaike did not see a shot on target on the other side in the first 45 minutes of play. Remember about that Philadelphia-New England situation. New England with 29 points, tied with Miami. 1 point out of the playoffs at the moment. Philadelphia with 28 points, 1 point behind. Rochester on the attack once again, and they have won another corner. Had plenty of these in the first half. This will be Rochester's first of the second half. We also mentioned outside of clinching scenarios, there are elimination scenarios. And FC Cincinnati, with the loss against Toronto, has been eliminated from playoff contention. Fourth team to be eliminated, Colorado, could also be eliminated tonight. This one comes in for Marsman, and he handles it easily. 50th minute at Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. And no score between Miami and Rochester. Justin Galanti, thrilled to be with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Remember, after we finish, there are 3 more matches tonight that you don't want to miss. 9 o'clock Eastern, Minnesota hosts Salt Lake. San Jose will welcome in St. Louis at 10 Eastern, and Colorado at the same time will host North Texas. That Colorado-North Texas match will be our game of the week, and then we'll have another one on Wednesday when New York City hosts Philadelphia. Don't forget, next week, it's kind of a full weekend of MLS Next Pro action. There will be matches on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So you can just park yourself on MLSNextPro.com, and you'll catch all the action. Miami just trying to get the ball onto the offensive half of the pitch right now. Struggled to do that in the first half and struggling through the first couple minutes of the second half as well. Good tackle there, and Rochester able to win the ball back, but Bubakar Jallo overran this one a little bit. Now back the other way, Miami comes. Jovan Jones couldn't get it all the way through, and it comes in on Kaique. Crowd trying to make some noise. The supporters have been silenced by Rochester's effort so far tonight. But we said this in the first half, it feels like the Miami supporters are ready to explode. Rochester trying to move it through the box, couldn't do so, and it's taken by Romeo Beckham for Miami. Beckham on a good run here, gets it past the midfield line, sends it forward. Kaique well off his line though, and sends it all the way back down the pitch. Very aggressive, confident goalkeeper, makes a tremendous play here. What will it lead to? A chance out in front, shot deflected wide of the target, and a corner coming for Rochester. And give the credit there for Kaique. Started that break down the pitch for Miami, or against Miami for Rochester. Philadelphia has scored at home against New England. 1-0 lead for Union 2 in the 56th minute against New England Revolution 2. Points would be so important for either of those two sides. Garrett standing over this one. Garrett in low out in front, and it's sent away there by Batiste. Now a strike on Marsman, and he makes the stop. Second save of the night for Nick Marsman. Couple opportunities there for Rochester, but Miami keeps this match scoreless. This one all the way down, a chance for Miami. Out in front, strike is on, and it is home! George Acosta with the breakthrough for Miami. Acosta, the first-team loan, playing in just his second match with Inter Miami 2 this season. Scores. Schneider Borgelin gets his second assist of the season. And in the 55th minute, Miami finds the breakthrough. And after all the possession and all the opportunities for Rochester, Miami is able to take the lead. And now what will be the response? Rochester had been out shooting Miami 9-1 prior to that goal. And Rochester immediately is able to win another corner here. This will be the 9th corner of the night for the visitors. Still plenty of time left, so no need to rush or panic for Bruno Baltazar's side. Service in towards the back post, headed just over the bar. Oh, it looked like there would be too much congestion for a clean attempt at net, but it came all the way through, and boy, what a chance Edward Williams had there. Rochester continuing to push the pressure. Jallo out wide. This is Batiste, back for Boubacar Jallo. Good build up here, a chance for Rochester, but Marsman is off his line to come fall on it. Strong aggressive play from the veteran Nick Marsman. Marsman, 31 years of age, from the Netherlands. Signed with Inter Miami back in April of 2021. And making a big impact for Inter Miami too tonight. Coming here for Miami in the 58th minute. The goal in the 55th from George Acosta, assisted by Schneider Borgelin. Now Miami on the counter once again. An opportunity, cross out in front, and Jovan Jones had a great chance at it. Couldn't quite direct it towards the target though. Miami just scored on the counterattack and almost found a second in less than 4 minutes. Miami getting set to make a couple of substitutions here. Darren Powell used one in the first half. Abel Caputo came on for Ame Mabiza. He was off with an injury. And now he'll use 2 more. It appears George Acosta, the goal scorer, and Jovan Jones will be the ones to come off. Braxton Najib, as well as Dyron Reyes will come on. So 3 reserves have been brought on by Darren Powell, none yet on the other side for Bruno Baltazar. Here's Rayo. Good ball, middle of the box. Williams off the side of the net. Williams just didn't quite have the angle there, but nice build once again for Rochester as we cross the 1 hour mark. A reminder that Columbus could clinch the division and a playoff spot tonight if Miami were to tie or lose in regulation. So if this score holds as a final in just over 30 minutes, that would be no help to Columbus tonight. Rochester trying to push forward. 10 shots, 2 on target thus far. But Miami able to take the ball back and play through Marsman. Good touch forward now. This is Reyes, who just came on, trying to send it ahead, but it will be run down and played to Ka'ike by Christian Wood. Free kick coming here for Miami. Restarted quickly. Romeo Beckham crosses one in front. Sent away from Ka'ike, but right back towards Beckham. Now at the top of the box, Rochester able to take the ball back. Well, Philadelphia has absolutely cranked it up against New England. Now in the 65th minute, and Philadelphia with a 3-0 lead. And if that result holds as well as this one, we could have some major changes at the end of the night in the Eastern Conference table. If Philadelphia earns 3 points, they would get up to 31. And if Miami gets 3 points, it would be up to 32. New York City and Rochester would fall out of the top 4. And your top 4 would be Columbus, Toronto, Miami, and Philadelphia. It looks like Philadelphia's in a pretty good spot to earn the full 3 points. Here, just a 1-0 advantage for Miami, and plenty of time left for Rochester to find an equalizer. Good play to get this out wide. Ian Garrett sends one towards target. It was over Rayo, and it will be a goal kick. During this last stretch, when Miami has been unbeaten in its last 7, they've picked up 16 points, but 3 of the last 4 matches have been ties that have gone to the shootout, and they've only been successful in 1 of those 3. I asked Darren Powell this week, you've been involved in so many of these shootouts now. Is it something you worked on in training a little bit more this week? And he said, yeah. We did, and we're going to as the season goes along, because those 2 shootouts we lost, if we had won those, then those last 3 matches out of 4 that finished in ties after the 90 minutes, well, that would have equated to a win. 3 more points if they had won all 3 shootouts instead of just winning 1 of 3. Williams out in front. No one able to get to it. Philadelphia has scored again. It is 4-0 in the 68th minute right now. 54th minute, 61st minute, 63rd minute, 67th minute. 4 goals for Philadelphia. How about that? Batista. Get that to Jallo. Instead, Miami able to take the ball back. Out wide for Romeo Beckham. Beckham out in front. What a chance, and Miami is up 2. Borgelin had an assist, and now he has a goal. Borgelin, his 12th goal of the season, assisted by Romeo Beckham, his league-leading 10th assist. And Miami's lead is 2-0. That combination of Borgelin from Beckham has been lethal all season long for Miami, and what you would have to call the biggest match to this point for Inter Miami 2. That combination comes up big once again. A big congratulations to Romeo Beckham, becoming the first player in MLS Next Pro to get to 10 assists. And Borgelin now with 12 goals. Well, that moves him up into a tie for 5th place in the race for the leading scorer in MLS Next Pro. Right now, Jack Lynn of Orlando, Jason Russell Rowe of Columbus are tied at the top with 15. Well, now the climb has gotten significantly uphill for Rochester. And it's looking perhaps more and more like at the end of the night, we will have 2 new teams, as this is offside against Miami, 2 new teams sitting in playoff position in the Eastern Conference. (11-4) is the shots advantage for Rochester tonight. But the only 2 shots on target for Miami have found the back of the net. Here's Jesus Batis. Some room in the midfield. And now it's Romeo Beckham. Miami looking to move quickly on the counter once again. They've scored twice in this manner. But this time Rochester recovers well defensively. This one crossed in front. Marsman had a little trouble handling it, but he gets some help from his defense as that was Allen who came in and helped him out. Good play by Noah Allen. Sends it over the sideline. It'll be a Rochester throw. 70 minutes gone by. A 2-0 lead for Inter Miami 2. Goal in the 55th minute from George Acosta. And one in the 67th minute from Schneider Borgelin. And now the urgency has to be at a high for Rochester. Miami is looking to remain unbeaten in what would be its last 8 matches if tonight continues in this fashion. And if Rochester cannot come back, they will be winless in their last 5. This right into the waiting arms of Nick Marsman. This Rochester side, as we told you earlier, 0-3-1 through its first 4 matches, only 2 points. Then won in regulation in 4 straight, unbeaten in 5 straight. Lost against Cincinnati on June 11th, came back, earned 2 ties and then an extra point in a shootout, then 3 more wins in regulation. It was an incredible stretch from May the 8th to July 16th. This Rochester side is struggling a bit at the moment. Lost 5-2 on Wednesday at Orlando, giving up 4 goals in the second half. Those second half struggles are coming out again tonight against Inter Miami 2. Meanwhile, for Inter Miami 2, good start to the year, fell on hard times in May, went 0-5-0 in the month of May. Is this a foul? Going against Rochester. But they are unbeaten since June 19th. 4 wins in regulation, 3 ties. And they are perhaps just about 18 minutes away from finding themselves in playoff position for the first time since the very early weeks of the season. As we said earlier, for the longest time, it looked like it was going to be simply Columbus and then some order of Rochester, New England, and New York City as the 4 playoff teams. Not so fast. Toronto has made their way in, and it looks like at the end of the night, Miami and Philadelphia will make their way into the postseason if the regular season ended today. Of course, it does not. Things don't change. This won't be a knockout blow for Rochester, but it'll certainly be a step back. And a big step forward for Miami. Corner coming here for Rochester. They have had plenty of these tonight. This will be the 10th corner. This Rochester side, which is held north of 55% of possession. This one in towards Marsman. Loose out in front. Cleared out of trouble, though. And Miami able to send it away towards Romeo Beckham. Looks like Marsman got off his line there, and one of his defenders helped keep that one out of the net. But a player is down here for Miami. And the referee, Luis Arroyo, will go check on him. And it looks like he also waved the players over towards the sideline for this to act as a hydro break. '75th minute here at Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Justin Galanti, thrilled to be with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Inter Miami 2, a 2-0 lead over Rochester on second half goals from George Acosta and Schneider Borgelin. And Miami perhaps closing in on moving into the top 4 in the Eastern Conference table. When you look at what's coming up for these two, Miami, which has been in as good a form as anyone in the league, will have 3 very difficult matches to start September, as Miami will not play again until September 3rd, having next week off. They'll host Toronto, right now the second place team in the East, on September 3rd. Then on September 11th, Miami will host Columbus, the first place team in the East. Then another matchup, this time on the road with Toronto, on September 14th. And they'll round out the regular season at SeatGeek Stadium in Chicago, playing Chicago Fire 2 on September the 18th. In terms of Rochester, looking to get back on the right side of things, the schedule is also very difficult going down the stretch. Next weekend, Rochester will host New England. Then they'll go to Philadelphia on September 4th. A week later, they'll be in Toronto and then finish up the regular season at home against in-state rival NYCFC 2. Good job to keep this one in play. Cross out in front. Perhaps a chance here. Can Rochester get one away? Just a bit wide of the target. And Marsman will have a goal kick in the 77th minute. Philadelphia Union 2 is now up 5-0 in the 81st minute. And we'll have a yellow here coming in the 78th minute against Rochester's Gerardo Lopez. So I think we can kind of put the result in Sharpie of that Philadelphia-New England match. Again, it's 5-0. So Philadelphia is going to get to 31 points, move ahead in New York City and Rochester in the Eastern Conference table. But if Miami holds on, they'll stay ahead of Philly, move into third place at 32 points. But there have been crazier things to happen than 2 goals in just over 12 minutes. That is what Rochester is hoping for here tonight. This one towards the back post and deflected away from Kaique. Will be a corner coming for Miami. What a second half this has been for this Miami side. Goals in the 55th minute and the 67th. Low service, got around Beckham. Now a spinning shot. What a stop by Kaique. First save of the night for Kaique. Made it with the left foot, and it kept any hopes that Rochester might have tonight alive. Kaique came into the match tied for the MLS Next Pro lead with 6 clean sheets, so an uncharacteristic night for him, giving up 2 goals. Neither particularly his fault, but a goaltender who's been tough to beat this year, Miami has been able to beat twice. Rochester was asking for the offside call there and did get it. As we approach the 80-minute mark in this match. Don't forget, When we wrap up tonight, stick with us as we will present our Adidas Player of the Game. Couple good options for Miami. We'll have to wait and see who earns it. Rochester, a good build, big save, Marsman, and the rebound sent over the bar. What a chance for Rochester, but it's just been that kind of night for the visitors. Fourth save for Marsman. Rayo was unmarked right in front of the target and just sent it over the bar. Another chance. It's Rayo to his right foot, and he just missed on the outside of the cage. You could see when Rayo sent that one high, a bunch of knees kind of buckled for Rochester players, knowing that might be the best chance they have all night. Couple substitutions here for Rochester. First of the night for Bruno Baltazar, Will Analian and Dante Brigida coming on. And Ben Kramaschi enters for Miami, so that is 4 subs used by Darren Powell to this point. Just under 8 minutes until we get to the 90, and then we'll see how much time we have added. Trying to find Beckham once again, didn't get all the way through to him. This one steered away from trouble, at least for a moment. Rochester trying to build something here late. Rayo dropped it off. Shot is deflected well over the bar off the foot of Edward Williams, and it will be a corner coming for Rochester. This will be the 11th corner of the night for Rochester. Garrett swings it in again. Comes all the way through. It was off a Miami touch, so it will be a Rochester throw. Still a little bit of time for Rochester to try and make something happen. To tell you about their quality of chance, Rochester's expected goal number at the moment is 1.71, which is an extremely high number when you still have a 0 in your goal column on the scoreboard. Batiste trying to get to it, kind of collided with a teammate there. Trying to fire one through towards Marsman. A good tackle defensively. Miami trying to keep the ball away from its goalkeeper. It will be another corner, though, coming for Rochester. Player was was down for just a moment there for Miami, but good to see everyone back to their feet very quickly. Low service, not the highest of quality. Handled easily, and it comes out to Beckham again. More than 85 minutes gone by at Drive Pink Stadium. Justin Galanti, so glad you've been spending the night with us here on MLSNextPro.com. This will be a throw for Rochester. Out shooting Miami 17-5. 4 3 shots on target, but trailing the match 2-0. Here's Williams. Trying to get to his left foot. Great step forward, though, by Kremashchi, who just came on. Strike. Marsman with the save. 5 saves tonight for Nick Marsman. He might be on his way to a clean sheet. This one all the way over the top. A little bit of a collision there. And it'll be a yellow going against Rochester. This will set up a free kick for Miami. Second booking against a Rochester player from referee Luis Arroyo tonight. Tyler Bagley and Sean Hundo come on here for Miami. Time ticking away on the Rochester hopes this evening. So Bagley is on, the former member of the Cornell Big Red. Not all that far away from where Rochester calls home at Monroe Community College. Of course, Cornell and Ithaca. Luis Arroyo went to the sideline just to sort things out. So we await this free kick. Certainly a chance Beckham could try and put this one on goal. See if he tests Kaike. Romeo Beckham into the wall. Right back at him. Tries again. This is easily handled by Kaike. Second save tonight for Kaike in his 20th start of the season. He has been in net for every minute of every match for Rochester. Williams back the other way, gets tied up. Rochester trying to continue forward and draws a foul. So a big free kick for Rochester. The chances are not high anymore, but if you score here, you never know. Be a bit of a trick to try and get this through or around or over the wall. Probably too close to get it over and down. So put it on Marsman. That is in the back of the net. Rochester strikes in the 90th minute, and it's game on. 2-1 in the 90th. So now the drama builds. It'll be up to Luis Arroyo how much added time we have, as it's 2-1. The goal to Gerardo Lopez, his first of the season. A foul there. And a yellow given to Miami's Schneider Borgelin. So Gerardo Lopez in the 90th minute has got this back to 2-1. Does Rochester have one final push? Into the middle of the field. Sent down the pitch towards Lopez. Now it's played over towards Ben Kremaschi, and he finds Romeo Beckham. Plenty of room here. Romeo Beckham, beautiful cross. What a save, Kaique. Keeping the hopes alive, and a save on the back line as well. That was Batista who kept it out of the net. Oh my goodness, Kaique, an outstanding save. Batista helped him out as well. Kaique steps forward, gets it through to Gerardo Lopez. Still time perhaps here for Rochester. Trying to push everyone forward and find an equalizer. Just outside the box, a bit of a tie-up, and Miami is able to get it away from trouble. Here comes Romeo Beckham. Flipped up high, in towards Kaique, and he's got it. Kaique sends it all the way down. Marsman is there for it. 2-1 Miami. Trying to move into playoff position with 3 points tonight. But Rochester is fighting to the finish. Noah Allen into the middle of the pitch. And a foul was called there against Caputo. This Batista, who just saved a goal for Rochester, gives it ahead. Boubacar Diallo was dispossessed. Miami trying to take as much time as possible. A hard tackle there. And this will be a yellow against Batista, his second, and he has shown a red. And remember, that is massive, because with the new red card rule, Batista will have to miss the next match.